Where do we go from here?
We're here.
We could go anywhere. Where do we go from here?
Canyon on the east. Let's go.
We could go anywhere.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then a very big hello. My name is Louise and today I am bringing you my plan for the year. So if you're new here, then welcome. Basically, me and my boyfriend Jake moved from the UK to Canada over 5 years ago now. And one of the main reasons that we chose to move to North America is because we want to travel more. We just find that ourselves gravitating to America quite a lot. So being in Canada and exploring Canada is awesome, but it also gives us flexibility to travel America like cheaper. So obviously we can get flights really cheap. We can go over to Buffalo Airport, which is a 15-minute drive from our house, and fly from there. I've ticked off a lot of Europe and now my next stage is North America, and just living in Canada we're able to do that slightly more than if we lived in the UK. A flight to like New York or Orlando or Chicago, you're talking like 800 to £1,000, as here living in North America I can get a flight to, well, I just got back from New York and the flight was $80, which is £50. So we can do it a lot more. At the beginning of every year, I love sitting down with you guys and telling you our plans for 2025 because it kind of tells you what you have in store vlog wise. What I will say is that our 2025 was supposed to start a lot earlier. If you guys have been watching my vlogs, my catch up videos and all that jazz, you'll know that I was extremely ill. I had pneumonia and then I had some mental health problems straight after having pneumonia, so I was offline for about 3 to 4 weeks. During that time we actually had a trip booked to New York. Me and Jake love going on a trip in the first week of January. One, it's really cheap to fly, hotels are really cheap, and two, I just feel like it starts the year nice. 2024, so last year, our first trip of the year was Chicago. I will leave that vlog down below, and it was the best trip. We went in the first week, we went for 3-4 days. It was like it was so nice. The only thing is when you go to these sort of places like New York and Chicago, it's still very, very cold in January. So maybe we should be going down more south in January, but it's just easy flights or an easy road trip. And I had the best time in Chicago. So we was like, let's do another trip for 2025, January the first week. And we booked New York. We went there in December, loved it. Didn't feel like we had enough time there. So we booked New York, and we were supposed to be a huge vlog to start 2025 off, but I was extremely ill. It was near the end of being ill. It was on like my 3rd week going into my 4th week of being ill, and we ended up still going on the trip, surprisingly, even though I was literally couldn't walk. And we spent the first half of our vacation, like I was in bed and then would go for a walk for an hour, and then I was in bed, and then by the end of the vacation I was feeling myself a bit more, so we went to watch a Broadway show, but I didn't have enough energy to vlog it, unfortunately. So I want to apologize for that, because you would have already had a travel series by now if I wasn't ill. So first of all, I want to apologize for that. So yeah, we did already start off 2025 going on a trip to New York. We went for 3 nights and 4 days, and yeah, by the end of it we had the best time. Go watch my latest vlog because I tell you what we got up to. I show you some things that we got from there, but this is now going to be about travel for 2025. So I have some mandatory trips that I have to do, which I am actually really, really excited about. So we will just go through the months and I can kind of tell you what we have in plan. So right now we're still in January, and we already did our trip for January, which was New York, like I just said. And then we're going to move into February. Now, so February and March, we have no plans booked. Now, the reason for that is because my April trip is going to be quite expensive. So what we have said is if we get 2 days off together, which we already know that we already do because we've already seen our schedules for that, then we may take a road trip up north to like Barrie or Blue Mountain and go ice skating and go tubing. So vlog wise, you will get a lot of day in the life vlogs in February and March. From us being at home and exploring like the area. We want to go to Niagara Falls while it's snowy, but we do want to take a trip up north. So that one isn't booked yet, so I'm not setting that, and that's just because we have some big trips coming up this year. So we just wanted a few months just being at home, but don't worry, we will end up going somewhere. If you know us, we are very, very spontaneous, so we can book a trip tomorrow. But I would have liked to gone to Banff and Calgary, and we nearly did book something for February and March, but we're kind of waiting to see where we stand once we've booked the flights for our other trip. So once we've booked our other flights and we see where we are money wise, you may see Calgary vlog, but if not, it'll be like going to Barrie and going tubing and ice skating and all that fun stuff. So that is what we got for February and March. Now April, my best friend is getting married in England, and I am a bridesmaid, and I am so excited. So this is one of like my mandatory trips. Like, this is something that I've had planned for a very long time, and obviously I need to go home to see my best friend get married because it's going to be the best thing in the whole entire world. So Jake hasn't decided if he's tagging along yet or not. Originally he wasn't going to, so I did tell my best friend that he wasn't coming to the wedding because originally he had to go home for something else later on in the year, like a family thing. So originally he wasn't, and now we've just worked out his vacation and sick time and all that jazz, and he may be able to tag along, not for the whole trip, but maybe just like a little pop-up trip. So in April, I'm going home. I'm looking to go home for about 10 days. Here in Canada, we only get 2 weeks vacation and then 1 week sick, and then I get like a few days emergency. So I get about 3.5 weeks off, which is so different from the UK. The UK, you normally get 4 to 6 weeks off, depending on where you work. So I have to be very strategic of booking my time off, which I will go on later on, of how I'm going to do the other trip. So this one I have to use my vacation because I'm going home for 10 days. So it just so happened to be over April, and there's a bank holiday in April, so I can use 1 day in lieu, and then I won't have to use 7 days vacation. I can just use 6 days. So going back home, so I'll be going to Weston-Super-Mare, that's where I'm from. The wedding's not too far from there, and the first few days that I land, I've got like a nail appointment, I've got lunch with my best friends, and then the day before the wedding we'll be chilling, and then it'll be the wedding. So like the first 4 days being in England, I will be with my best friends, and my friend from Australia is also flying back. It's gonna be the first time in literally 5 years that we've all 4 of us have been together, which is just crazy, and I'm so excited. We will get a lot of content from England, and then for the last week I'm in England, so the first 4 days I'll be with my best friends, and then I will be with my family. Now I am trying to convince them to go to Disneyland Paris. Every single day I text my mum with Paris deals, and I'm trying to convince my sister-in-law, my niece, but the problem is there's a newborn baby in the family. I just think he would love Disney too. My grandma really wants to go. Like, me and my grandma are like game and 100% like up for it. And if it just so happens that just us two go, that's fine. The problem is I'm going home over April half term, so it is a bit more pricey to go to Paris, but I would love to do Paris. I haven't done Paris in years. I actually danced there when I was a lot younger. I have so much video footage which I need to get from my grandma's and convert it to like hard drive, but like it has a special place in my heart. It's the first Disney park I ever went to. It's where I fell in love with Disney. It's where I performed there, and it was just like so many amazing memories I have there, and I haven't been back since. So I would absolutely love to go to Disney Paris, even if it's for just 3 days 2 nights, or just 1 night and 2 days. And just, it's so easy to fly from Bristol, which is my nearest airport, to Paris within like an hour and just get it done. Like, I'm just praying on. So that's a maybe. Paris is a maybe. But they did say if we don't go to Paris, then we're going to go somewhere like Creeley, Longley, Centre Parks for a few nights to spend with my family. So you are going to get England vlogs, and then you're also going to get a little extra bonus while I'm in England, whether that be Paris or it'll be like Creeley, Longley or something like that. And that's April. So you'll get a lot of that at the end of April, because I'm going at the beginning of April. May and June is the start of our camping season. If you did not know, Jake and I own an RV, a trailer, whatever you want to call it, a caravan. We treated ourselves when we got permanent residency of Canada. We used some of our savings to buy our trailer, and so every summer we go away. So now, like I said, with vacations, we don't like wasting our vacations on like camping trips, because it's easy to be done without using it. So for example, when there is a bank holiday in Canada, there's normally a bank holiday near enough every month, but in May, when there's a bank holiday, we would then work the long weekend, and then we get an extra day off, so then we could put that towards the back end of the week. So we would then have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off as our days off, and then we would have Sunday, Monday off as the following weeks. That's 5 days, and then we can always use 1 day vacation if we want to go for 6 days. But if not, we can still get away for 5 days without using vacations. Now, a lot of people message me on Instagram and YouTube saying, how do you go away so much when you only have such a tiny vacation package in Canada? And this is how we do it. We just plan very, very well. If there is a bank holiday or a holiday, then we work that holiday or that weekend, and then that following weekend we use our day in lieu, which means we get 5 days off. And then if you want to use one of your vacation days, that means you get 6 days off, and you're only using 1 vacation day or 1 sick day or 1 emergency day, that whatever way that you want to do it. So we do that. So in May we're going away for our first camping trip, and June we have a camping trip booked too. May we always go very, very local. We live in like Niagara Falls, Niagara Lake area, so we either go to Turkey Point, Selkirk, Long Point, and this year we are going to Long Point because we haven't done that one yet. So we've done Selkirk, we've done Turkey Point, so the next one along is Long Point. It's close to home. It means when we take our trailer out for the first time, if there's anything issues, that it's been sat for a long time over winter, so if there's any issues occur, we can just take it back to the dealership and go get it fixed. So we like to do that. June, we are going to a park in Lake Huron. Lake Huron is my favourite lake of all times. So where we live, we shadow Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, either side of us. And then Lake Huron is just at the side. It's about a 2.5 hour drive, like in a diagonal line. And then you're on Lake Huron. Lake Huron has the best sunsets of where it is on the map. It just has the best sunsets. The water is like crystal blue. We've been to McGregor and Inverheeren on Lake Huron, and then we have been up to Tobermory, which is at like the north end of Lake Huron, and this time we are going to, oh my goodness, I've forgotten the park already. So we are going to Pinery Provincial Park. We try and go to new ones every time, just so that we can recommend them to you guys. Oh, I just accidentally. And it is 2.5 hours away, so it's slightly a little bit further. It's at like the right bottom of Lake Huron, and I'm so excited because by June the water is still cold, but you can actually go out on your paddle boards. You can't really swim in the lake yet because it is freezing, but being on your paddle boards will be really, really exciting. So that is May and June. We have our camping series started, and of course, guys, I'm gonna vlog it for you guys. Of course, July we will be going away. We just haven't booked it yet. So we probably will try and do a state campground in America for July 4th. Last year was the first time we did July 4th in America, and it was a huge bucket list thing for us. We've always wanted to do that. We went to Letchworth State Park. I will leave that vlog down below too, because that was super fun. American state parks are really, really cheap. They're like $20 a night. And a lot of them have pools or lakes. They're all so different. And we definitely want to do another one for July 4th. So that one we haven't booked yet. So I'm going to leave that one with a question mark, but we will be going away in July. May, June and July, you will get a lot of camping content. And then we move to August, which is my birthday month. This one is another mandatory one. This one, I am going back to England again. Can you believe it? And that is kind of why I said to my family in April, I want to go away when we go to England, because every time I've gone back to England, I haven't gone away or a night away, because the first time I hadn't been home in like 2 years, so I just wanted to be with the family at home. Last year I had to go home for a family emergency, so I kind of had to be home as well. And then this year I'm going back to England twice, so I feel like one of the times I want to do something, I just don't want to go home and just, while everyone's working, be at home by myself. So that's kind of why I put Disneyland Paris into their head, and then they said, well, we'll do something for sure, just we don't know yet. This one's just going to be a slightly shorter visit. I'm going to be going home for about seven days. I won't do the whole 10 days just because of vacation, for our big trip at the end of the year, which we will go on to. So in August is my cousin's wedding, so I am going to that. The wedding is actually on my birthday, and it's my 31st birthday, so I'm okay with that, because that means I can just forget that I'm well into my 30s now, and I'm really excited for that one because obviously all the family is going to be there. So I'm going to have one wedding with all of my friends, and then I'm going to have one wedding with all my family, and I absolutely love that. The night before the wedding, we've got an Airbnb that all of like the girls are staying in, so like my mum, my grandma, my auntie, my sister-in-law. So that's going to be super fun. And then for that trip, that one I kind of want to be at home because I'm only home for 7 days. I actually got 2 new nephews, and my best friend's giving birth to a little boy, so there's 3 new babies in the family, and they're all boys. So I'm super excited to be spending time with all of those, and the fact I get to see all my friends and family twice next year, and really exciting actually. So August we were going back to England. I would like to, on that trip, go back to London airport the night before I fly, well, the day before I fly, and go to London too. I've been in talks with some of my college friends that we'll meet up in London and have a big catch up, and that means I can give you guys some brand new content. I've never gone to London in my content, and I used to go to university there, so I know London quite well, and I would love to go see like Buckingham Palace and Downing Street and Big Ben, and then take you guys with us. I know I have a lot of like Canadian and American followers on here too, so it'd be good to take you guys across. Like, I've been showing you so much of America and Canada, and it'd be nice to show you actually England too. So I'm gonna hopefully book a trip to London within that August break. Then we bring you to September. So September is a bit of a crazy one. September is Jake's birthday on the 5th. And if you guys know, well, you guys probably do know, if you're watching from England, it was a huge thing. Oasis released their tickets for going on tour in 2025. They're in England in August, and I tried getting tickets. They're literally in England the same week I'm in England. Unfortunately, I didn't get them. Then they are in Toronto at the end of August. Tried to get them. We actually did get them, actually. I did get tickets for Toronto, but this is a long story. I was at work, and Jake texted me saying, we got Oasis tickets. So in my head, I thought it was for Toronto. I was so excited. I was like, the end of August, I'm going to come back from England. Going to go to my first concert in years. My last concert was in Manchester for Spice Girls 6 years ago, I want to say. So I'm buzzing about this. I've always wanted to see Oasis live. Never thought they were going to get back together. And then I'm like, amazing. What's the date? He's like, September. I was like, they're not in Toronto in September. He was like, slight problem. I've booked LA tickets. We have a massive trip booked at the end of the year, which I will then go on to. I didn't know if 1, we could afford to go to LA, and 2, do I have vacation time to go to LA? So in my head, I'm like, we're going to have to fly there for the day. So like fly in the morning, watch the concert, get a hotel room and fly back in the night. Like, it's going to be short and sweet. But then in my head, I'm like, I've always wanted to do Disney California. Like, Disney California has been up there, but because it's just slightly further, it's a 4-hour flight. And the park tickets are so expensive there, and hotels are so expensive. I could do Florida for half the price and longer. We still had those tickets for Oasis, and he could tell I was a tiny bit annoyed, so we got his Toronto tickets at the same time. So we have tickets for Oasis in Toronto and LA. Now, I said to him he can take his friend from England wanted to go watch Oasis, never got tickets. So I said, why don't you bring your friend over for Toronto tickets? So I think that's what's going to happen in August. And then in September, we are flying to LA to go watch Oasis. What is my life? Now, the only thing is we are only going for a short visit. We just don't know if we want to go for like 5 days, 4 days. So we're kind of like in that 5 or 4 days. We'll definitely do Disney while we are there, 110%. But I don't know the itinerary yet. So as soon as I have the itinerary, I will obviously tell you guys. But in August, we're going to England. September, we're going to LA. Sometimes I like give myself anxiety because I love traveling so much. I get excited and say yes to things, and we book it, and then I look back and I'm like, another year where I'm going to be skint at the end of the year. But you only live once, guys. We're okay financially right now. We don't have kids to rely on. We don't have a mortgage to pay. If we need to go live in the RV, we'll go live in the RV. At least we've lived our life and seen the world. Brings us to October. October, we have no plans. We are not planning anything. Please, Louise, force yourself to not buy anything or book anything in October. October, you need to rest after the most craziest year of traveling you've probably ever had, and you need to breathe. I am telling you this. do not book anything for October, because November, the beginning of November, is our big one. Now, I'm going to be really transparent with you guys and be completely honest. We didn't think this trip was going to happen this year. We told ourselves we didn't want to go to this place because we've done it for the last 2 years, and you guys will probably guess it by me saying that. I actually have no reason for this. It's our happy place, and we've wanted to do a big trip in the trailer. So the longest we've ever gone in the trailer is a week, and that was to Algonquin. When we went up to Algonquin, we had the best time, just literally being in the middle of silence for a whole week on our paddleboards, barbecuing. It was the best thing ever, and we knew we wanted to go away for a long period of time in our trailer again. And when we were looking at KOAs, which are like campsites, American campsites, like everywhere looked amazing, but it's like we want to go away for 2 weeks, and is 2 weeks too much time in these campsites that literally don't have a lot, unfortunately. If you're there for like 3-4 days or a week at a push, you'll have the best time, but it's 2 weeks kind of too much time. Like you would have done the hikes, lakes and everything like that. So we just happened to be on the Google and typed in Fort Wilderness Lodge, which is the campsite in Disney World. We booked it a few years ago and couldn't go because of the hurricane. We ended up going back the year later, but it was a shorter visit because of vacation time, and it was actually cheaper to book the campsite in Disney World than it was to book a KOA campground. And then I said to Jay, like, at least if we're there at that campsite, we have the amazing swimming pool that Fort Wilderness has to offer. It's got the private beach, it's got all of the Disney parks, so we won't be dead. Also, Epic Universe comes to Universal, and we haven't done Islands of Adventure. So this trip is going to be so different than any other trip that you would have ever seen from us at Disney World. Guys, I hope, and I'm praying, fingers crossed, that you guys aren't watching this like, I've seen you guys go to Disney like 3 times now. I don't want to watch any more Disney content. But I am promising you, this content is going to be so different. Your last content we had from Disney World was with our mums. That was very different. The time before there was the first time at our campsite, and then the time before there was the first time we ever stayed in a Disney hotel. Now this time we are literally moving into Camp Wilderness Lodge. We're going for over 2 weeks. We're literally going to be set in base, properly unpacked, and we're going to book Universal Islands of Adventure, the Epic Universe, which is the brand new Super Nintendo park. And we're going to be doing Universal, which we haven't done in depth with you guys. I've never ever vlogged that. We went on our very, very, very first time, but I don't think I ever vlogged it. We are going to be going to do all the parks. I may or may not be buying an annual pass holder just so I can pop there every now and again in 2026. Yeah, and we're going to be going to the Christmas party and the Halloween party. So over the 2 weeks that we are there, we get the back end of Halloween and the beginning of Christmas. So we are going to go to both Halloween party and Christmas party. So there is going to be so much content for you guys. I am actually so excited to take you guys with us. We haven't got the Disney dining plan, so we are going to be doing barbecues a lot of the nights, cooking at home, but because we're there for over 2 weeks, we can enjoy it a little bit more, go back to the RV at the middle of the day and don't feel like we're missing out. We've never properly gone around Epcot. The last 3 times we've gone in September, and it is hot, like hotter than the sun. So Epcot, there's no shade, so we've always had to rush into aircon units or rush back to her hotel to cool down. So I am so excited to go and take you around Epcot during the Christmas period and go to see all the different Santas and things like that. And we just got so much planned, and we're both so excited, and that is going to take up basically all of November. So that's why October, you cannot book anything, Louise. Please don't. And that will bring us to December. We work in retail, and we would have just had a few weeks off, so we will be hardcore at work at December. So December and October, you have nothing, unfortunately, but there'll be a lot of vlogs still during that time, I can promise you. And that is all of our travel plans for 2025. So we are going to, well, we've been to New York, we're going to England twice. We may be going, guys, I've just realised, if we go to Paris, that means we'll be going to California in September, and we will be going to Disney World in November. So we'll be doing 3 parks out of 6 in 1 year. I feel truly blessed. Another little disclaimer, because a lot of people say like, how do you have the money and all that? I work my butt off. I work over 40 hours some weeks in retail as a manager, and I do social media part-time. If I'm not working in my full-time job, I'm literally filming videos, editing videos, getting it up, trying to work with brands to like fund this lifestyle. But I work incredibly hard at my job. Every bit of bonus that comes in, I always book a trip. And yeah, every bit of spare money I have, I book a trip and I pay it off throughout the year through bonuses over time. And I purposely work more hours so I can enjoy the life that I want. New York, tick. England twice. Maybe Paris, let's not put that right now. LA, Disney World, Florida. What I will say is, if you are watching this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I just want to say a massive thank you. Honestly, half of these trips could not be done without you guys watching. Every little AdSense money that I get from YouTube, every little TikTok check I get, I don't get paid from Instagram, but every brand deal I get in, honestly, it goes straight into my travel card. And then I book deposits on things, and it goes all straight back into making content for you guys. I never pocket it. I literally put 100% of what I get from social media back into making contents and traveling the world, and I really couldn't do it without you guys. So I want to say thank you so much. And also, if you're not already know, I do Patreon. So Patreon, obviously you guys can see that we travel a lot, and every month I send a postcard out to every member of my Patreon family. I have a small family over there. I absolutely love them, and I thank you so much for your support if you're a Patreon member. And basically, for example, when we went to New York, they all got a New York postcard. When we were in Florida, they got a Florida postcard. And then at the beginning, Christmas time, it was supposed to be sent, but the people were on strike. So in January, they got a Starbucks mug as a little thank you, because we collect Starbucks mugs. So I wanted to share that gift with those guys. If you subscribe to my Patreon, you will guaranteed get one postcard a month. Someone last year, everyone got 2 postcards a month because we traveled so much. You're guaranteed to get postcards for all the places that I just mentioned that we are going in 2025, and you will get one once a month. And then as soon as I hit a little goal that I want to hit of a certain amount of members, I will be giving away 1 Starbucks a month. I just have to make sure I have enough subscribers to pay for the shipping, because shipping in Canada is expensive. I realised that from sending the last 2 mugs, but to be a member for Patreon, it's just a small fee. It covers buying the postcard and sending it to you guys. So if you would love to be a Patreon member, then please go look at the link down below. And the start of 2025, I've started to put my YouTube videos on there too, so you guys get early access. So you guys will get the video before YouTube gets it, without ads as well. So if you would love to see my videos first, love to get a postcard, then make sure you go and follow me over on my Patreon. That's everything I wanted to share with you guys. That seemed long, but we have got a crazy 2025, and I'm actually nervous and scared and excited. We've got a lot of come pack with me, so we've got a lot of stuff to do. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.